The upstairs brain can control what's happening in the downstairs
That's why it's
brain.
over top of it.
That's why it's over top of it. That's right. Yes, that's the reason it's there. It's actually the reason we can all sit in an auditorium like this for 2.5 hours rather than just looking for berries or something. So we have this cortex, right? So now what happens is, if this thing is firing enough, this downstairs brain is firing enough, here's what happens. It fires, it fires, it fires, it fires. And pretty soon, it's going to make it so the ability of my upstairs brain to maintain the coordination and balance of the downstairs brain gets a little on the edge. And think of the experience of someone hanging off a cliff, right? You're hanging on, you're still hanging on, you're still hanging on, you're still hanging on, and you can feel yourself shaking. But what happens when you let go?
Yeah, eventually you're...
When you let go, you are going. It's the same way with the upstairs brain. It holds on, it holds on, it holds on, it holds on, and there's a bunch of parents smiling, so you know what's about to happen. This is now let's talk about our brains. It's holding on, it's holding on, it's holding on, and suddenly the firing from the downstairs brain is too much. The grip is lost. And watch what happens. This is why it happens so quickly, you guys. This now no longer is coordinating and balancing it. That's the first thing. So now this is now erupts out because it's no longer contained, which turns this way, way off. So within 2-3 seconds, you go from kind of being a reasonable human being to flipping your lid. Has this happened to any of you? And let me just remind you, just because I know we probably won't talk about it, but it's worth just saying, I'm going to give you the list of the scientific things. We didn't put all this in the book. Oh, actually, we did put this in the book, but not as a list. Here are the 9 functions that this upstairs brain part right here behind your forehead allows you to achieve. Watch what happens if I can help my daughter Maria keep her upstairs brain working well so she's coordinated and balanced. She'll have these 9. But if her downstairs brain is so agitated and I can't help her name it to tame it and I can't connect and then redirect, if I can't do that stuff, she may get really agitated and she may start throwing things and have a big temper tantrum and do all sorts of stuff. And like, oh my God, I have a kid with, the dysregulation disorder or something like that. You know? Because it's all about relationships. I mean, there are people with disorders like that for sure, but I always want to ask, what's happening in a relationship first? So here's the 9 functions. Number 1, if she can maintain that, and if I as a parent can maintain it, I can regulate my body. I literally have 2 branches of the nervous system that are the brakes and the accelerator of the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and sympathetic branches. Anyway, basically it makes my heart rev up, and my lungs breathe faster, and my intestines churn, or it calms all that stuff down. And how you balance the brakes and accelerators is basically how you regulate your body. All happens from here down. The upstairs brain is the master controller of that. So if you lose that function, you can just be totally out of control. That's number 1. Number 2 is the ability to tune into someone else. So at the moment Maria comes home, she's telling me about what happened at school. If I've had a bad day, or I'm really agitated, or I want this to be my perfect daughter, or I was rejected as a kid and I can't stand the feeling that my rejected child's invoking in me because I didn't want to think about my own rejection because I was just fired at work, or I was rejected when I was a kid, or whatever the issue is, and I can't stand it like that, then at that moment, I can't attune to her. This is what this area allows. This area allows you to literally tune into the internal experience of another person. Make a map in your own mind of not only the feelings that another person might be having, and that's called compassion, feeling with, but also to imagine what it's like to be in the mental life of this other person. That's called empathy. So attunement is the gateway to both those things. So it's this balance between rigidity and chaos. This is called... That's emotional balance. This is the part of the brain we know from science allows you to achieve that.